Hello, everybody. It is episode 3 of Dragon's Dogma 2. Um, so, something that's happened recently, something not a lot of console players might understand, is the PC port for Dragon's Dogma 2 is actual dog shit, apparently. It's unplayable, according to Moist Critical. And other people have been having various bugs, glitches, and crashes. Um, and it has a mostly negative review due to microtransactions. I would like to state that microtransactions in this game are the exact same that were in the first game. They're the exact same in Monster Hunter World. They're the exact same in literally, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some Street Fighter games with DLC and microtransactions like that on the PSN store. It's a single player game, guys. I mean, like, you shouldn't really get that upset about it because it's literally just a single player game. Like, nothing's going to affect. Nothing you can buy on the store is going to affect like the actual gameplay. Everything you can buy on the store, you can actually get in the game. Like you can actually earn it in the game. Buying those things is just a way to get it if you want. It's one of those things to like imagine it as like you're buying a weapon in Counter-Strike or whatever. It's the exact same, except you're not buying weapons. You're buying like consumable items. Like it's like as if you bought potions from Monster Hunter. It's like at that point, that's up to you, man. Like I can make potions. That's up to you. If you want to be a dumbass and buy potions, by all means, you're supporting Capcom. And they're putting it on there. They're putting some things on there that are difficult to get. For example, I just want to sit here and talk about this for a sec. By the way, the character, um, like voucher editor thing, that was something you could also buy in Dragon's Dogma 1. But it was something that you could earn and buy at the end of your adventure in Dragon's Dogma 1. And there's also, I believe, a way to get like Scroll of Metamorphosis, which is technically and it's an item to be able to like change your entire appearance, like on the fly, and I believe also your pawn if you want to. And like it's not the first time this has been done. This has been done years and years and years and years and years for single player games, and it's always been fine. But for some reason, this time it isn't. This time it isn't fine. I will admit, all bias aside, I mean, it is a bad look. It really is. Like, it looks bad. Because the market nowadays is so oversaturated with, it's so oversaturated with microtransactions that it kind of makes this game look bad because it looks like it's trying to support that kind of stuff. I do think they shouldn't be charging for consumables, particularly because it's kind of like, to me, I think it's dumb. Like, if you enjoy the game, you enjoy the game, and if you enjoy the game, it kind of just makes the shop redundant because you're going to be playing the game. You're going to get to the end of the game. So it's like, I don't see why it should matter, why you should really care, because it's a single player game. At the end of the day, it's a single player game, and if you want to waste fucking money on a single player game with one save file, waste your fucking money, by all means. It's really dumb that they did it, yes. It's really weird. But at the same time, if you don't buy it, it won't matter. Especially because they get to see that information. They get to see, hey, there's not any customers that have bought this. I wonder why. Oh, well, it's because they fucking don't care about it. And you know what the next thing they do? Oh, I guess we won't have that then. And you know what? Maybe they might try to monetize something worse at that point. Maybe they might try to move on to something else. And you know what? To that I say, well, shit. But that hasn't happened yet. And it hasn't. Capcom has never gotten to the point where it's encroached on actual progress. It's gotten really close with Monster Hunter Rise and the layered weapons. Layered weapons by no means have any actual bonus physical like buff. You can't get any sort of extra thing from a layered weapon aside from maybe a little cool animations. Aside from that, from my knowledge, the hitboxes are the very exact same. The animations might be a little different, and it might make the timing feel a little different, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's just very, very well animated. And to that, I say that's fine. It's the same as buying a fucking League of Legends skin. It's the exact same. Think about it this way. You're playing the game. You can enjoy League of Legends. You're playing Jinx. But guess what? You want to look fly. You do it. It's the exact same fucking thing. At the end of the day, I guess what I'm saying is the only really bad thing that's happened out of all this, the only really bad that Capcom's done, is they've waited 12 years for this game to come out, and they fucked up the launch release for Steam so bad that they're getting review bombed. And I'm saying review bombed not only because I believe this game is still a good game, yes, but there's people who've paid 60 to 70, maybe even 80, I'm not sure, based on where they live, I don't know, like dollars, hard-earned cash, and pre-ordered and everything, and they've been anticipating this game for a decade, over a decade, and you give them that, it's like, it's kind of just a spit in the face. And that is the thing. I don't think, even though, like, yeah, my life is kind of cushy right now accordance to this game because I'm playing it and it's moving smooth. I mean, granted, from what I can tell, it seems to be running at 30 FPS, but it's not as bad as how Monster Hunter Rise was. Monster Hunter Rise was 30 FPS on Switch, and that was atrocious compared to when I got it on PS5. And it is the exact same. Like 30 FPS on this game on PS5 is nothing compared to other 30 FPS games, honestly, because I have HDR. Not everyone has HDR. It really sucks. And I can understand how 30 FPS sucks. It doesn't bother me, but I can understand how it can bother some people. And then the 60 FPS on the copy of the game, most everyone bought, doesn't even work. And this isn't the first time Capcom's kind of screwed the ball on this one, screwed the pooch. They dropped the ball many times on PC releases, almost exclusively. And it's a little disappointing, but you shouldn't have to wait to play a game that was promised on a day it was promised by a company. It was released, but it was like kind of like a gotcha, haha, I got your nose. It's kind of like situation. Or it was like, oh, I got your money. All right, it's coming out this day. And I don't think, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think Capcom did this maliciously. I just think they really, really suck at PC ports. Either that, or there's either two possibilities. Because there's been a behavior, like, what's it called? There's been like a pattern of behavior with PC releases with Capcom, and that pattern shows that they either uh, don't know how to do PC ports effectively, or don't have a team that's able to do it effectively to the point where it's like satisfying for the consumer, or um, they just rush the PC port compared to everything else, which is a big no and a big bad. And the third one is the worst of all, which would be they are maliciously trying to not do well on a PC port. They're probably just very stubborn for the third one. And I'm thinking it's one of those. Like, it's got to be at this point, because it's like it's too consistent for it to be like an accident, right? Um, but at the same time, they make great games, and they responded almost immediately. In fact, I believe they've already fixed most of the issues, or they're doing it as we speak. They're doing their best to fix those issues. And I think this really shows that, like, AAA game developing is not as easy as it looks. But at the same time, consumers should still be able to expect promises, on a product that they spend this amount of money on and have waited this amount of time for. Because, like, everyone knew this game was coming. Everyone knew this game was coming, especially after the huge success of Monster Hunter, and everything. Like, Capcom IPs were about to get some love, and this was one of its products. And you know what? It's from what I can tell, a great game. I'm still at the part of the last episode, and it's like. Yeah, it's been great so far. It's really disappointing because there is genuine critique, genuine and fair critique with microtransactions on single player games. I can see that, even in the sense of like Monster Hunter World and Dragon's Dogma 1, etc. I think it's not necessarily something that's like good, but it's not bad either. I'd say it's not intrinsic. It's like it's not inherently bad, right? So, but the moment it's inherently bad is when it's pay to win. I think that's the biggest issue. It's neutral now only because it does not affect your state of play in the game, and even if it did, it would be even less of an issue just because it's a single player game. Literally, straight up, doesn't matter. But at the same time, there's not even pay to win in the single player game. It is simply paying for early access. Okay, so there is a item called a fairy stone, and there's an item also called a port crystal. So you can buy port crystals. Port crystals, you can place them anywhere you want in the world, and you can have up to 10 on the map at a time. But, and I say but, the only thing they sell on the store are port crystals and not fairy stones. You know what fairy stones do? They let you travel to the port crystals. So what I'm saying is, it's exactly how Asmongold put it, and I'm not someone big. I'm just quoting what he said because it was really fucking easy to like, you know. He just said it's like selling a car but not selling the gas. So it's like I don't know how to put it in a reference, but you're basically what you're getting is you're getting the ability to put teleportation locations down, but it's not letting you buy the ability to go to those locations. On top of that, buying the character edit, it's like just delete the game, delete your save. Like if you don't like your character before you start the game, go into the character editor, create a new one, set it as the main one, load it from the fucking save file, and guess what? You have your new look, you're ready to go. And if you get halfway through the game and you say your character looks like dog shit, you know, back in the day, we didn't have no. Oh, let me change my character really quick. Yeah, sure, there were some games, but this is an RPG. You're meant to play to the very end with the character you made. You're supposed to roleplay with the character you make to the very end. The only reason we're able to change our appearance in Skyrim is through the console commands. This is a console game at the heart of it. So you got to think from that perspective. So, at the end of the game, once you finish your character, and I hope you're playing a character you like to play, because if not, what the fuck are you doing? I hope you're playing a character you like to look at, because I don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's why I made my character look like me, but more like a attractive fantasy version of me. You know, I don't look that good. My roommate doesn't look that like pristine and like healthy skin and shit, you know, etc. So it's like you just have to understand that you're not really getting anything of like value when you're buying that shit. Which I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's definitely a bad thing, microtransactions and all. But I don't think it's necessarily an issue with the developers. It's more of an issue with like the executive producer being like, oh yeah, we have to have like a minimum of this amount of microtransactions on the PlayStation Store, you know, just to bring in a little bit of extra money aside from just straight up purchases. And you know what? I think that's entirely fair. If they made a great game and you want to support your creator and also get a little tiny gift, a little tiny cookie, you know what? Well, have fun. I'm just gonna enjoy the game. And I hope y'all get a chance to as well, especially y'all PC people out there not really enjoying the game. I'm so sorry about that. I know there's PC people out there that are enjoying the game, and there's PC people specifically out there not enjoying the game, and it's like a small handful of people, but it's a small handful of like a pool of like millions of people. So it's a pretty big handful, I'd say. Like probably like 50,000 people, I'd say. 100, like 50,000 to 100,000 people. Yeah, for sure. And it's shitty. But there's just a lot of piggyback riding, a lot of bandwagoning, a lot of. I can definitely tell there's like a lot of like, just blind hate. People that haven't touched the game, played the game, And there's people that have genuinely played the game and they're like, all right, I have some complaints, and you know what, I think that's fair. But there's a lot of people that have just bandwagoned, um, and downvoting because everyone else is. Um, and you know, parroting the same things. You know, microtransactions, microtransactions, microtransactions. Dog shit port, valid, very valid. But the whole microtransaction thing, I do not understand at all. It is the weirdest argument I've ever heard for a game. Um, but yeah, I guess this episode, I mainly just wanted to talk about that. Um, they did announce. Um, they responded. Capcom did. About the game being shitty and blah, 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 whatever on PC. Um, and they on microtransactions, they mentioned, they don't really like, they just said like that's how the game is. And you know what? That's fucking fair. But everything else they addressed, and they said they're working on fixing it right now. They're working on bug fixes, all that stuff. Like they responded immediately, which is, like I said, the reason why I think they did not do this maliciously. You know, they just have a really shitty time making ports. They really do. Whoever's like porting and localizing over in Capcom, that someone needs like to perform a wellness check on them or something. But aside from that, the game is great, and I totally support Moist Critical, Penguin Z0, or whatever you want to call him, Penguins Zero. I totally support his decision to not support the game as much as he wants to, because he's doing it. He's doing it as out of principle. He's standing on business, like he said in his video, like it said in the title, and he basically is just saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna refund this game because I can't play it. I can't enjoy it." Um, but I'm not going to get it on console. I know it would run smoothly, but I'm not going to get it because this is pitiful. You know, this should have been done better, etc. And you know, that's so fair. Totally fair. Like, do not blame him at all. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, get my thoughts out on everything that's been going on with the release of this game. Very, very disappointing, honestly. Really disappointing. And I wish I could, you know, I wish I could understand more, like, be in their shoes a little bit more, like actually own a copy of the PC version and see if it does the same. And you know, like it's hard for me to be like, I'm just being straight with y'all, like it's hard to be unbiased in my circumstance. Because I don't know anything better than this. You know, 30 FPS, I don't give a fuck. Looks fucking so good to me. Like, you know, it doesn't matter to me. But to other people, it's like the end all, the, like, be all, like, you know? And that's understandable, but, like, ain't me. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Aside from that, yeah, this, I guess I'm just gonna call it that as episode 3, just a little, fireside chat, like with Diablo 4, um, for Dragon's Dogma, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, it's, It's great. This game is I'm so ready to just dig deeper into it and just knock it out of the park, you know. So yeah. All right. Well, talk to you guys in the next one. See ya.